welcome to the SVG-TV Evening News for Tuesday, October 29th. I'm Khalil Kato with the details. Speaker of the House of Assembly, Jomo Thomas, today gave notice that he will be stepping down from the position early next year. At a news briefing at his law chambers, Thomas says he intends to give up the position during the first quarter of 2020. Giving some reasons behind his decision, Thomas said there are many things he wishes to achieve without restrictions, noting that he has done his best to conduct his duty with fairness and according to the laws of the land.
Some time ago, the Searchlight had done a front page spread in which it said, the Speaker declares that he will not sit on a party political platform while he's the Speaker. That to me was a principled position I took. If there are other things that I want to do, I wouldn't want to be encumbered in any way by being the Speaker of our Assembly. More than that, I am not so sure, having served for almost 4 years now, I am not so sure that there is anything else left for me to do as the Speaker. I've tried my best, I've tried to be fair, I've tried to apply the standing orders, the Constitution of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, but we have a rambunctious bunch. And people would push and try to pull your chains here and there. People try to rile you up. But I think that I'm proud that I've never been able to allow any individual to pull me into a personal debate or discussion on any matter in the almost 4 years that I have served as the Speaker.
The Speaker of the House also made it clear that he is not motivated by pursuits of power and privilege.
Better do. People would, I know people say, well, why would you want to give up this for, but it's not, I am never drawn by money. I am never drawn by power and privilege. So part of the process of giving up the speakership is to show, look, I can let this go. I don't have to hold it because it's really not mine to hold. It is for me to see how I can use it to advance our democracy. And I think too often the Parliament has been reduced to a tribune for petty banter and not really settled on doing the business that the people send us into that august body to do.
Thomas also announced his resignation as the ruling Unity Labour Party's caretaker of the South Leeward constituency. Thomas, who was a candidate for the ULP in the 2015 elections, said he does not intend to run in the next general elections and is giving enough time to allow for other persons wishing to serve to do so.
I hold this press briefing today to announce that I have no intention to offer myself as a candidate for the ULP in the forthcoming general elections. Primarily, the reason is the time, the energy, the money, the effort cannot be properly justified considering the current state of play in the party. Consequently, to allow for the ease of transition and to allow for a sense of clarity to prevail, particularly among the long-suffering and neglected people of South Leeward, I formally remove myself as caretaker for the constituency so that others with a desire to represent can move forward.
An increase in public assistance, allowance payments to nurses, and improvements to some infrastructure were among 20 announcements made by Prime Minister Dr. Ralph Gonsalves during his independence address to the nation at the military parade held at the Victoria Park. Barvin Oliver tells us more in this report.
The announcements by the Prime Minister in his annual Independence Address is something Vincentians often look forward to hear, and this year there were 20 special announcements made. Noting that nurses are precious to him and his government, Prime Minister Gonsalves in his Independence Address on Sunday, October 27, 2019, said some 112 nurses and nursing assistants who were due certain allowances but were not paid for various reasons will be paid in December this year.
Some 112 nurses and nursing assistants in the clinics in the community nursing services who are due certain on-call and weekend allowances but were not paid for various reasons will be all paid in full these allowances in their December 2019 pay packet. The rate of $250 monthly for the staff nurses and $125 monthly for the nursing assistants. Individual payments ranging from $375 to $28,875 will be paid. The aggregate of these payments amount to $995,332.56. I thank the nurses who brought this matter to my attention 3 or so months ago. I am pleased that we are righting this wrong.
There are many teachers and public servants who have attained university degrees and are awaiting appointment. PM Gonzalez said this will be done and that his government will examine ways to reform the entire public service.
Third, the final batch of teachers, amounting to just under 100 who obtain university degrees, but who are not appointed as university graduates, although they receive a graduate allowance, will be appointed as graduate teachers in January 2020. Henceforth, the appointments will proceed as a matter of course upon their acquisition of their degree. Fourth, as has been done in respect of the graduate teachers, our government will embark on a similar process from January 2020 to address the position of the unappointed university graduates in the public service, roughly 140 in number. At the appropriate grade level, we will appoint them. The education revolution has occasioned a massive increase in university graduates. The public service establishment has to be reformed to accommodate this welcome development in university training.
Duty-free concessions on Christmas barrels, roadworks, the cleanup of Kingston campaign, the commencement of public access to village enhancement program, and the relocation of the elderly from the Louis Panett home were also among the announcements made by Prime Minister Dr. Rav Gonzalez, who said Vincentians can look forward to the physical strengthening of the judicial system.
The physical infrastructure of our judicial system and parliamentary democracy will be strengthened consequent upon the recent decision of the government of the Republic of China, Taiwan, to support a soft loan of US $20 million from a Taiwanese bank to construct a modern parliament building and courthouse complex on 2 parcels of land almost obliquely opposite the headquarters of the Ministry of Agriculture on Richmond Hill. 13th, the commencement date for duty-free barrels and packages is November the 18th, 2019. The duty-free concession will run until December the 31st, 2019. This is the 19th successive year that this government has offered this concession.
From January 2020, there is to be an increase in the payment of $25 for those persons on public assistance. The Prime Minister also noted that hundreds of title issues for grantees of state lands will also be resolved. Monetary assistance to medical marijuana farmers, as well as other programs to assist farmers, were also announced. The Prime Minister also announced the appointment of 3 nationals with the status of cultural ambassadors and 5 floating ambassadors. The final of the 20 announcements made by the Prime Minister was the activities under the recently launched Sport Against Crime and Renewal at 40 will be ramped up over the next 12 months. For SVG-TV's Evening News, I am Barbin Oliver.
The RSVG police force has come in for high praise from Governor General Her Excellency Susan Duggan as she delivered brief remarks at the Toast to the Nation ceremony held at the Prime Minister's residence after the military and cultural parades on Independence Day. The Toast to the Nation is done annually as part of the celebrations to mark the important milestone of independence. Her Excellency described this year's military parade and cultural parade, which was held for the first time, as magnificent.
You have to permit me to thank the Commissioner of Police and members of the Constabulary for a magnificent display of skill and precision this morning. I was indeed proud, and I know they're going to continue the good work next year. Thank you very much. Permit me also to single out ACP Brown. You were magnificent. And he led me through the paces very well. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Also commending the troops on parade was Commissioner of Police Colin John. The commissioner said he was pleased by the performance seen on the parade ground and thanked the Vincentian sailors serving with the Royal Navy for their participation in this year's parade.
I want to say thank you also to the troops on parade, and I want to ask everyone to really show their appreciation for the splendid job that they did on parade this month. I do not wish to single out any guard, but if I was to single out any, I would say that the #1 guard that was led by Superintendent Hazelwood would have been my pick, but I would not single out any guard. But you all did well. Also, the visiting contingent of Vincentian from the Navy, you added some extra spice to the parade this morning, and I just want to say thank you.
Also on the parade ground on Sunday were various youth organizations such as the Scouts, Girl Guides, and Cadets. PM Gonzalez said these groups have a positive impact on youth, and the government supports such structured organizations.
Whether it's Cubs, Scouts, or Girl Guides, or the Cadets, and that is what you saw on parade. I know in countries, people tend to associate, and when you hear that, people tend to associate some things like young pioneers in Cuba. This is how totalitarian governments go. You know the usual talk. Well, the truth of the matter, discipline is being inculcated, and it's a voluntary program, and a lot of young people come to them, and we support young people coming into these programs, and you see many of them, a sample of them on parade.
A large crowd turned up at the Châteauguay Heritage Park at Rabaca on Monday, October 28th, for the annual Matunga Festival. The highlight of the event was the distribution of offer letters to 150 residents to have title to their lands. Larissa Pugsley-Kidd tells us more in this report.
150 persons who received their offer letters at this year's Matunga Festival were invited to start a process to acquire the title deeds from the Ministry of Housing from today. Most of these persons are from the Sandy Bay area. Minister of Housing and Area Representative for North Windward, Montgomery Daniel, told the gathering that they would like to afford persons the opportunity to have titles to their lands, hence 228 lots were allotted. However, some persons were conflicted as to who should own the lots and have deeds.
The HLDC, in executing its work, will clarify all of these and to make the occupants of these lots as happy as possible.
The 150 lots are in addition to the 175 lots already distributed, bringing the total lots distributed for this year to 325. The price per square feet is $1, and it was noted by Prime Minister Dr. Ralph Gonsalves that many persons made an issue about payment, but it had to be done. He also warned persons to get on board with regularization that is currently taking place before it is too late.
I want to say there are one or two people who don't have title to their land, and they get so blind with partisan politics. They say that they don't want Montgomery to give them title. You ever hear a thing like that? You think Friday and Eustace wouldn't take title? Eh? You can rest assured you can rest assured Monty Roberts go take the title. You can rest assured that Shera would want title for the land. You mustn't follow people with their backward, stupid, divisive tactics. We are offering you title to the land. The one or two of you who don't want to be sensible, listen to the comrade and take the title for the land. Is your own. We're just regularizing it for you to make it proper for you and your children and your grandchildren.
Throughout the day, persons flocked to the various stalls to get a taste of the madungo, which was prepared on spot.
I'm enjoying it very, very much. Enjoying all the cassava and bakes and saltfish and all kind of fish. It's very nice.
In fact, it has been a long journey to get here, but I'll do it again anytime.
Chairman of the Arrowroot Association said he was pleased with the turnout and says there is definitely room for improvement, which will be taken into consideration for next year's festival.
One of the things that we're going to do, because madongo, fungi and madongo, especially fungi and fish, it's like a dying part of our culture. And thanks to the Arrowroot Association, we are trying to bring it back. And we hope in the past that in the near future, we'll continue to have your massive support.
Reporting for SVG-TV News, Larissa Pugsley-Kidd.
Drilling on the second well at the geothermal site at Bamboo Range has reportedly produced positive indications of both permeability and temperature. This was announced at Monday's Matunga Festival by Prime Minister Dr. Ralph Gonsalves, who read to the gathering a text message sent to him from Director of the Energy Unit, Ellsworth Dakin, informing him of the good news.
This is what he says, and I want to read it for you. Good news. The second well was drilled for 83 days at a depth of 2,800 meters. That's down in the ground. After stimulation of this well, there are positive indications of both permeability and temperature. At the bottom of the well is 215 degrees Celsius. The well continues to heat, and the stimulation process will continue in this well for a few weeks. Given the positive outcome of this well, the drilling team and consultants have decided to proceed with the drilling program. Hence, the third well will commence in the next few days.
The Prime Minister added that his government is at the stage of procuring equipment for further tests now that they have been assured of the likelihood of geothermal steam.
The testing equipment will be procured and should arrive within another 2 to 3 months. The potential power output will be determined with the use of the testing equipment. A decision by the technical team to remedy the first well or use it as a possible re-injection well would be determined following the well testing.
This country should be using geothermal energy by February 2022 once all goes well, and according to the Prime Minister, electricity costs should be reduced at that time by 1/3. A teacher at the Brighton Methodist School, Carriel, Wilshire, was killed in what has been reported as a freak accident in the Harmony Hall area last Saturday night. Her family, however, is not accepting that it was a freak accident and are calling for a thorough investigation to be carried out into the circumstances leading up to her death. Niece of the deceased, Kayashma Wilshire, who is a nurse at the Milton Cato Memorial Hospital, said she was at work when she heard about the incident, after which she made her way to the scene in Harmony Hall, where she made observations that were questionable.
She had just exited the vehicle and he went to reverse and it went in driving step. But what I am saying, you understand? What I am saying, how I'm feeling. How can somebody just let somebody out of a vehicle and down in the area is a dead end? It's very dark, no street light or anything. If you're gonna reverse, you're gonna depend on the headlights. Now your headlights, the lights to the back, you're gonna depend on. You're gonna take your time. You understand? It's dark. You're going to take your time. What kind of speed? That's what I want to know. What kind of speed that he was going in that he can actually hit her, make her fall on the ground and still run over and kill her on the spot. It's not adding up. It's not adding up, and I'm not buying that story. And I read on the internet that some other news on the social media said how the vehicle slammed her into the wall, pinned her into the wall, and other occupants had to lift the vehicle off of her. That's two different stories right there. Because if you pin somebody against the wall, the person will actually be between the wall and the vehicle. So how is it that other occupants of the vehicle will have to lift the vehicle off of her? That means that she's lying under the vehicle. From the position that my aunt was lying, because I went there, from the position my aunt was lying, the wall is to the left and she was lying this way with her head facing to the right. So it's not adding up. How we want answers. Whole family want answers. We're not gonna leave it like this, to be honest. Her clothes, her breast and thing was out. The clothes, the top wasn't even on properly. It was torn. It was torn. It was torn. It was torn. It's not something adding up.
Wilshire said she does not know the driver. Her aunt reportedly got a ride with to Harmony Hall, but she knows the person she was going to visit. She said there were also reports which suggested that there were other persons in the vehicle with her aunt, which Wilshire disputed, noting that upon arriving at the scene, she did not see or speak with anyone who were reportedly in the vehicle with her aunt or assisted in removing her body from under the vehicle.
The scene and the police on the phone didn't mention there were other people in the vehicle. So it's all a mystery. It's all a mystery. Nobody else. Police didn't mention anybody else. I didn't see anybody else to say there were other passengers. Nope. Just the driver and the guy who she was going by was there. When she's going by her friend at Harmony Hall, he will send a ride for her, right? If he don't send the ride home here for her, she will take a bus and she will stop off by the bus shed where the welcome to Prospect sign is, and then the ride will pick her up there and drop her up. So I'm not too sure if that's the same person who accustomed picking her up or if she got a ride from somebody else. I'm not sure because she's not here to see. Police did give me permission to accompany them to see the body. While I was walking down the slope, I noticed there were tire marks. Tire marks are on the road, and they were there measuring it out and all those stuff. So
the grieving family members say they found it alarming that no one tried to contact them in relation to the accident, and said that they will not leave any stone unturned until they get answers into what actually transpired.
She was there lying on the ground, right? And I was like asking, how is it nobody hasn't called, the police saying call, so long the thing happened? Why the guy who she was going by, her friend, why nobody didn't give them any information to say that she has a niece or she have other family members they can contact? And the police turned to me and said that the guy said that he is the boyfriend or the fiancé, some kind of thing of that sort. Me and my aunt is very close, right? I know she have a male friend, but if it was to the extent to say it's her fiancé, she would have mentioned it. And then the guy who is her friend, I saw him there speaking to the police, and he was there smoking a cigarette like nothing. The lady,
but I tell you, I noticed the night I wasn't sleeping. I noticed I didn't get the news my sister was dead. So I hear them early Sunday morning, and I noticed I go sleep late, like after 12, 1 o'clock. That's when I went to sleep, because I noticed I just ain't sleeping, but I don't know what happened. I didn't know my sister was already dead.
Somebody, when I have trouble, I could turn to, and she always want to make sure I'm okay. She was a very loving, kind person, not only to me, but to others.
The driver of the ill-fated vehicle was taken into custody on Saturday night. However, we were informed that he was later released. A $600,000 temporary school facility at the Park Hill playing field to accommodate the students of the Park Hill Government School was opened today. The Park Hill Government School is one of 3 schools undergoing large repairs under the Basic Needs Trust Fund BNTF project. At today's ceremony, Prime Minister and Area Representative Dr. Ralph Gonsalves said given the magnitude of the repair work being carried out, he didn't want to have the students and teachers remain at the facility during this time.
The repairs on weekends while the children were around. But I was very concerned about that, because it means every weekend you have to take down any scaffolding, you have to pick up every nail, every piece of glass, and I didn't want any teacher, and very much so any child, to get injured. So I said, no, we can't do it that way. And since all the work couldn't be done in the holidays, we said, well, let us fix up the toilets, do something, power wash the place, which they did, clean it up good. But that after independence we can move in, build in something. And this facility is a very beautiful one. I know a lot of the teachers already saying they are moving.
Prime Minister Gonsalves encouraged the students of the Park Hill Government School to make good use of the opportunities being afforded to them.
In your head, let it be a noise in your blood, let it be an echo in your bone. Nobody is better than you, even though you're not better than anybody. Which means that the world is at your feet. You can achieve what you want to achieve. And the education revolution makes sure that that is so. You see a number of people in Park Hill getting university education, a large number. And even larger number going to college. And everybody getting an opportunity to go to secondary school. There are a lot of bright people who have come out of Park Hill who never get a chance to go to secondary school, because in those days the opportunities were limited. But from September 2005, I made sure that we build enough schools, we trained enough teachers to make sure that every single 12-year-old is in secondary school.
PM Gonsalves said that after the Park Hill Government School repairs are completed, the students and teachers will return to their school, and the temporary facility at the playing field can be used then as a camping site. The SVG Teachers Cooperative Credit Union will be hosting a discussion tomorrow dubbed Get It Off Your Chest, focusing on breast cancer and endometriosis. The discussion will take place at the union's headquarters in Pauls Avenue, Kingstown, commencing at 4:30. Marketing manager at the credit union, Melissa York-Nichols, said the discussion will be led by 3 doctors who will share their knowledge on breast cancer and endometriosis. Dr. Camille Nichols will speak on endometriosis, Dr. Rodine Hunt on breast cancer, and psychologist Dr. Joselle Miller will deal with coping mechanisms after being diagnosed with the disease.
We also have a breast cancer survivor who will be sharing her story, as well as someone who is living with endometriosis, talking about how the disease impacts their life. So it's a packed program, informative. Persons will be able to get not only information, but if they have questions, they'll be able to ask the doctors or the persons who will be giving their stories questions as well. So, cancer is the leading cause of death in our society, especially among women. So we felt the need to, bring awareness to this. As well as endometriosis is a disease that is becoming quite popular, but it's one that a lot of women suffer through silently, some knowing that they have the disease, but the majority of women in our society are unaware that they have endometriosis, because they think that, especially the pain that comes with having endometriosis, they think it's just a normal part of menstruation, when it's not.